The Proper Football Live Show. Sundays at 6 p.m. for your football fix on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter and PF Radio. Check out our website at properfootball.co.uk.
Right, okay. Hello, good evening, folks. It's another Sunday. It's, of course, Proper Football Live. Now, we've been having a few technical issues, hence why we're on a little bit late, I'm afraid. Now, I'm hoping we're going to get Del on. Let's see what happens. Hello. Del.
Oh, we working.
Hey!
All my hair's grown and everything. Wait that long.
What was the miracle that changed that? You're coming across brilliant.
Do you know why? Because my laptop, I drop kick across the room, and now I'm using my work laptop. Maybe.
Oh, right. Okay. So it's a right. Okay. Okay. Well, I had a few issues as well. It weren't letting me download some of the footage that we got for you. And I think there's a couple that have missed, but never mind, we can cover them off. One was that incredible video, the Liverpool Chelsea supporters. It's brilliant, and I haven't got it. I'm gonna see if I can get it sorted while we're going through the show. Anyway, look, let's have a round the table. I'll come to you last, Del. Hello, Nigel, and how you been? And have you had a good week? Oh,
yeah, it's been all right. Plenty of footy on and getting on with his streams and stuff like that. Yeah, it's been all right. Good.
Yeah, and if you don't know what he meant, he's not really what we're doing right now. He does his Mixcloud pretty much every night, don't you, mate? We'll advertise at the end of the show. Catch him about 9 o'clock, innit? Most nights?
Yeah, 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock tonight.
Great banging tunes on Mixcloud with our Nigel. And Dan, you haven't been on for a couple of weeks.
No, I've been busy working on the wheels of steel, not the DJing, but on the footplate of the train. So I've been busy, mate. I've had a bit of a power cut here, so I've got a torch trying to light me.
Folks, you've got to show everyone your torch, mate, because he is literally sat there with a torch.
I feel like I'm under an interrogation by the SS or something. What is your name?
He's forgot to put the 50p in the meter.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, Del.
You too.
We say 50p, but my God, it's probably about 50 quid now, isn't it? Have you put your 50 quid in the meter? Right, Del, how are you, sir?
All right, mate. All right, nice to meet
we
everyone.
thought we weren't going to have you for a moment then. It was touch and go a bit there, but we've sorted now. So Del's joined us. He's going to join the panel. We're going to talk about our footy as we always do. But if you don't know, Del, tell us a little bit about yourself and your enthusiasm for a particular sport brand.
Yeah, I'm partial to an Adidas shoe, to be honest with you. Always have been. Love me clobber. Sport Brentford. 57 in a couple of months. That's about it, really. One of the original casuals.
57. When are you 57, mate?
April.
When?
22nd.
Oh, I'm 57, April the 7th. I feel 27. No, I don't. I might think it.
I thought you was older than that, girl.
Hey?
I thought you was older than that.
If I had hair, look, I'll tell you what. Hang on.
Is that a hard paper round?
Hang on. Now I look a bit younger, eh?
Taking years off you, that is.
Yeah. Oh dear. Well. It's been a week. And I'll tell you what, Brentford, mate, we'll quickly touch on Brentford because you're Brentford support and we've not had anyone on from Brentford.
No, there's only two of us.
Season, mate. Had a proper result yesterday and all.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, done really well yesterday. What can I say? Do you know what I mean? They're 7th in the league. Can't go wrong, can you, really?
Could you ever imagine that as a Brentford fan, mate? That you would
I honestly didn't think I'd ever see him in the Premiership, not in my lifetime, to be fair. Do you know what I mean? So it's when that second goal went in at Swansea at the FA at Wembley, bloody hell.
Mm.
Yeah, good times.
Were you there, mate?
No, I couldn't get a ticket, believe it or not. Because I watched it from my front room.
Wow.
That was brilliant, though, mate. Brilliant, unbelievable.
You've been knocking on the door for a couple of years, haven't they, Brentford as well? When
they got close. They got close. Sorry, the year before they got close a few years ago, but that's about it, really. They've always been like, for me, like a nursing ground. Do you know what I mean? They sort of like make all the players, and they get rid of them all. But now they've kept a few of the good ones. He seems to be going places now, mate, to be fair.
The scouting's great and all at Brentford, isn't it? With the the system, that money ball, I think it is. But the new owner as well, gambler, isn't he? Or
he's got a few bobs. That's nice.
It's great to see that. A nice, brilliant local London team doing well.
Yeah.
And
I do miss the old ground. I'm not going to lie. I had a season ticket for years. I don't go as much now, so I live a bit further away from the ground now. And I don't always get time. But I do like the old ground. But to be fair, the new ground, how they got it in that space, I do not know. So
So look, before I start asking everyone messaging and texting, look at that, the text line number running along the bottom there, folks. What I just wanted to say. So look, we know you're a guru. Now, is it Adidas or Adidas?
Well, I call it Adidas, but that's because I'm a southerner from London. And I think once you get up north a bit, like Liverpool, they call it Adidas. And I think a little bit further up, call it Adidas. But I've always called it Adidas.
Yeah, they're wrong.
Dan, how do you pronounce it?
Adidas.
I'd say Adidas. But...
Yeah, Adidas. Yeah.
Nigel, how do you pronounce it?
Same as that, Adidas.
Did you ever play in any of their kit when you were playing?
No, I used to wear the Adidas World Cup boots.
Nice.
They were nice boots. Then I went on to Puma Kings.
Yeah, I think everybody's owned a pair of Puma Kings. I mean, I'm terrible at football. I can talk a good game, but and I was relatively fit, but absolutely rubbish, mate. Absolutely rubbish.
Did you have a boot deal then, Nigel? Did you?
Pardon?
Did you have boot deals back then?
I actually got a little contract with Nike. It only came about the fact that I used to get me boots supplied by Nike, but when we got to the cup final against Everton, I played in Nike boots, and it was like a good little reward for them. So they said, "Look, we want to give you a little contract." So they gave us about $3,000 a year, and you went up there twice and filled your car up with as much sports gear as you wanted. It was.
I wonder what they're on now.
Oh, stupid money! I think Frank.
I
think Frank Bruno was a main man at Nike at the time. He was a big name, but
he had Nike on the bottom of his boxing boots, didn't he? On the bottom of his shoes.
Yeah.
Listen, we're going to just quickly switch over to the chat room. Good evening to Mike Howe. Hope you're well, sir. Stuart Higgins there. Good evening. Stephen Parkin. Good evening. Sean Colville. I know a few of the Colville lads, mate. And they had a great season. They doing well, I think, in the cups and that, ain't they, Colville? And knocking out Notts County. Wow. Alex Langley, how are you? Del, what are your thoughts on Europe? Would you suffer? So they're asking you, would you suffer like, Alex must be a fellow Brentford supporter, I'm guessing here. Let me know if that's right, Alex. He's asking you, Del, what your thoughts on Europe? Would you suffer like Burnley with lack of squad players? So I think what he's meaning is like Burnley did. They got into Europe one season and it really did screw their season up a bit, I think, because of the lack of depth in their squad.
Yeah, but we got quite a good squad. Do you know what I mean? We have got quite a good. Everyone relies on Tony, but whether he's there or not, we still play a good game. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it'd be nice to go to Europe, wouldn't it? Bloody hell, it'd be a dream come true.
Yeah.
And he agrees it's Adidas as well, by the way.
Yeah, Adidas.
Stuart Higgins, any club getting promoted into the Premier League need to look at what Brentford are about. We're getting some good feedback here about Brentford, fair enough. They have a superb setup and he's applauding that. It does definitely look like. Where are we with the Tony situation, by the way?
I don't know, really, to be fair. I mean, you hear all sorts until we know exactly what's what. I take no notice. Until I hear it, do you know what I mean? I don't until something's set in stone. I don't take notice what they say on the internet or the news. I just don't bother with it.
No, is he playing at the minute?
Yeah. He played yesterday.
I think he's waiting on the waiting for both teams to score in the Man City Tottenham game.
Or to Liverpool win one.
Actually, Alex is a Villa fan, but yeah, he obviously
he's Burnley girl, I think, is he?
No, Villa.
Oh, was he?
He's just said Villa fan. But obviously, fair play. He's asking Del about that. So, yeah. No, it's a good question, that, actually, Alex, because, is the Europa League worth your place in the, if you're a smaller club? Are you going to get, though? I mean, what are the chances of the small clubs getting into Europe now?
I would sacrifice the Premier League for Palace getting into Europe, without a doubt. that's my dream to see Palace in Europe. We're never going to win the Premier League, just to get a European
Have you
tour.
ever seen them in Europe?
No.
Nigel, we've been to Europe. I was at Kaiserslautern. Nigel was playing at Kaiserslautern. I was there in the stands in 1984. Nigel was on the pitch. That was our only time we've ever got to Europe. But I was glad enough to say I was there. Problem for me was I got too pissed on the way, and I can't remember a lot about it. One of my biggest regrets. The only time I could experience Watford in Europe, and I was too pissed to remember it.
Having said that, though, I mean, we went into Europe with a really young squad, didn't we? Because a lot of the older players weren't eligible. So, and we got to the third round of the UEFA. So we done well in that, but it didn't affect our season. So I don't see why having a small squad's going to affect what happens in the league.
No.
I sort of it sort of highlights what Bell said, really, isn't it? Good evening to Jeff Thompson. How are you, sir? Darlow, how did they get on yesterday? I did see a clip.
3-1. 3-1, I think.
Telford, playing Telford, weren't they?
3-1, I think they beat them.
Yeah, they were playing Telford. Right, okay. Well, the big news this weekend has got to be the Everton, innit? Dicey getting that 1-0 win over Arsenal. Was it on the cards? Was it always going to happen?
I said to you last week, didn't I? Once Arsenal lose one game, they could lose another one.
That's 2 on the trot,
yeah.
2 lost.
Yeah, hopefully they'll be winning next. They'll be losing next Saturday, when Brentford play them.
Yeah.
Oh, you got you.
mate. As soon as they lost, mate, yesterday, I get a text off Cally. I told you. Brilliant. No, what else we had? Actually, let me have a look. Let's see what other.
I'll tell you what,
interesting.
If you saw a bit of the highlights of that Arsenal-Everton match, I mean, the commitment from the players. I mean, I think that's what you're always going to get that with Sean Dyche in management. He'll get 100% out of the players, and they battled for that.
And you've got to ask yourself, though, why couldn't he get it out of the players? And it goes on to, I know, like new manager syndrome and all that, but you do have to ask yourself, well, if they can get it out of the players, why can't the previous manager do it?
System, style of play.
Some managers are better than man management managers, where they get the best out of players. Other managers are more tactical, so they're not going to get inside the players' heads and stuff like that. So it was like that with me and Graham Taylor. Graham Taylor was very tactical, and we all know our jobs. We all knew what we had to do in there. And then I went to Derby, and Arthur was a man's manager. He wanted to have a chat with you about football and get you in his office, cup of tea, have a chat about football. You could have your opinion. I think that managers work in different ways. And you always know with Sean Dyche, whatever club he goes to, he's going to get it organised. And, they're going to be solid. I think that's what he's done.
Well, it's in 90+4 at the minute. Still Tottenham 1, Man City 0. You're going to have to bear with me. Can someone carry on the conversation? Because I've got to take this call. Sorry. Dan, take over.
Sure, mate. Yeah. So, you've caught me there, girl.
It's right what you're saying about managers, though, because Thomas Frank, he's the sort of manager you'd ring him, tell him to come round to your house for a cup of tea. Because he's well with all the supporters and everything. They love him. Yeah, absolutely love him.
Maybe Frank had a bit of arrogance, but I don't know. I just think Frank he liked the passing game and he tried to change it with that defensive football, solid base, but he's not used to that. So I think Dyche's coming in, and it is a new manager mentality. Everyone's on and up, aren't they? You all got lifted and changed the dressing room, and winning that game. I mean, they might lose the next one, you don't know, but I love Sean Dyche.
Tottenham have just had a player sent off, 87th minute.
Have they?
Yeah, so
it's been a good weekend for Man United, isn't it? In that respect, with Arsenal and Man City.
Yeah.
If they lose.
I keep saying that at the start of the season, I had a small bet on them. I'd done a double with them and Fulham. I got 33-1 on Man United. Can you believe that? Wow. 33 at the start of the season. 33-1 they were.
Bloody hell. Right, we've got a message in from Stuart Higgins. Is the money bags of Premier League changing positions-wise? Brentford, Brighton, Fulham, all punched above their own weight. Southampton, Everton, West Ham, all struggling. What do you guys think about this upturn in lesser clubs competing, not being disrespectful? Well, there has been a bit of a turnaround, isn't there? Like you say, Fulham's, your Brentfords, your Brightons, but
you're good. It's
well
about time, isn't it? To the same old teams, same old at the top of the division all the time. It's nice to have the underdogs for a change, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. And I think these clubs are well run as well, aren't they? They've gone down, reanalyse how they run things. But Brentford, that's what I was going to ask you. What's happened to the 4 pubs outside Griffin Park? Do they still use?
Yeah, but they're not. It's not Griffin Park anymore. So they've knocked down all. I haven't been that side of Brentford for a while, but they've knocked the ground down now. The old Griffin Park, which was a shame. Yeah, but the pubs are still there, I believe. I'm sure 3 of them are at least.
It's only one stop. I'm a train driver and I go around that bit. It's Kew Bridge with a new ground, isn't it? And
yeah. Literally right by Chiswick roundabout, not far actually.
Yeah, and there's a gate from the platform, so it's perfect place to have a ground with a station. Yeah, and the old Brentford's only one stop on, so I imagine them pubs are. But I always love going to old Griffin Park. It was a great little atmosphere.
Oh yeah, it's proper busy around now. I mean, I went to last last home game of the season, and against Leeds. And we went in that pub right next to the ground, and me and my son were the only Brentford supporters in there. It's all like which was all right. We had a bit of a laugh with them in the end, but it was a bit eerie when we first walked in there, especially being in Brentford. But it was full of Leeds, full of them.
First time
everywhere, don't they?
First time I ever went to Brentford. Well, not to Brentford's ground. First time I ever saw Brentford play when I weren't playing against them was at Millwall. That night at Millwall, nearly wrecked the place. Because we had a Watford player called Ian Bolton went to Brentford years ago, and his first game was against Millwall away from home, and Gary Robertson, he sparked a riot there. So
that old den was naughty. It was probably scared the life out of me. The old den. Yeah. Oh dear, I've been there a few times. I haven't been to the new den, but the old den.
Yeah. It's a bit safer than the new den.
Yeah, it's a bit safer
now.
But that bridge.
It's Ambush City. There was all little graceland, and you just weren't the nicest place. But
no, proper scary.
Right, okay. So we'll quickly switch back over to the chat room, folks.
Was that wrong number, girl? Was it
a bit of a catch? Sorry,
talking clock.
Was that a wrong number?
I had to take that. No, it was my mechanic. He was at the work today to get my van done for me, and obviously I've got work in the morning, so. I had to take that call because I need to work. Right, okay. And it was good news, actually. Really good news. Yeah. The bill came in quite a lot lower than I thought. Happy in days.
Have you got to give his mechanic a shout out, have you?
Yeah. He's probably listening, not. But he's stuck in his garage, mate. Dan, you had your MOT up, didn't you, on Friday?
Yeah, it passed. Well, 114 quid later, it passed. Yeah.
Yeah. There's always a catch in it.
Another year's of bad driving.
Higgins, I'm going to catch up with people in chat room now, folks, if that's all right with you. And remember, folks, you can text me on the line flashing along the bottom of your screen if you don't want to put it on a public page. You can do that. Right, okay, so it's the money bags of the Premier League.
I've done that one, girl.
Oh, you've done that one? What have you done? Oh, I didn't realise.
That's all I've done.
Okay, all right, so Alex Langley, Cally, referring back to talking about you getting to the third round of the UEFA Cup and whatnot. He's saying it's all different now. You have to enter a group, and then if you get through that group, you enter into another group, and it's like having to play two. It is ridiculous. That's the problem, isn't it, with Europe now? It's just ridiculous the way they structured it and
making more money in it
to another group, and maybe that is what pushed the pressure on maybe teams with their the amount of games they've got to play in it. Okay, what we got here? Great players do not make good managers. Stevie G and Frankie are a good example, I think is what you're saying there. Good evening to Nicky. Hey, you all right? Good evening to Sid. Hiya. Hello, mate. Are you good? He's a fellow Palace fan, isn't he, mate?
Sid is, yeah. He lives out in Barcelona now, but he's proper Palace, Sid.
Nigel, when the football was on yesterday, one of the players hit someone in the crowd. What was all that about?
I didn't see it.
Didn't see it? Anyone see that? No? Okay. All right. One of the best days out going down to Brentford following Darlow. There you go. He's saying one of their best days out following Darlington. Jeff being a Darlington fan. And it was 3-1 they won yesterday. Well done. And Ben Cliff's been on. He was disappearing that last week because Stoke were playing. How are you, Ben? Missed you last week. It was a week after and all, I think. But nice to have you back. Right. That's us all caught up on that. Any other highlights you'd like to bring up over the weekend results, gentlemen?
Well, I went down to Eastbourne Borough yesterday, didn't I?
Tell us about it.
Yeah, it was good. They was playing Taunton Town, so I went down with a couple of mates. Lovely little ground. I ain't been there before, but beautiful little ground. It was 16 under 16s was free, which is good. Lovely bar. I think it's about 800 there. Great facilities, lovely pies. You could have a beer in the ground. Sadly, I got involved in the ciders and I forgot to take any video footage and anything, so I'll have to go back.
There's a shock.
That's not the first time you've done that.
I know,
There's a blog and got pissed.
There's a pattern for me now. I need to get some help. But no, it was great. And there was about 20 Taunton fans. That's a long way from Taunton down to Eastbourne. That's a massive they lost 3-0 Eastbourne. No, great day out. Just nice to and just people come up and talk to you. Just have a chat. Just about football. I mean, there was an Arsenal fan there. There was some other fan. It's just a lovely atmosphere. Loads of kids there. So you can't beat non-league football. You really can't. No. But
what I'll do, actually, you've led me in nicely. Let me just take the opportunity. I just want to highlight a few of the fan bases from yesterday. And I've got to obviously recognise that stadium. Did you ever play? No, you wouldn't have played in that stadium. You'd have always played in the baseball ground, wouldn't you, mate?
No, actually, after my cancer, they put a testimonial on for me. Yeah, so I did actually get on there.
Okay, so what we're looking at here, folks, now it's worth a shout out to this lot. So this is Morecambe, and they took 1,100 down to Derby. Now, bear in mind that their basic gate is probably only about 3,000. That is a good away spot, you know. One other thing, gentlemen, that I found really interesting, I found out this week about Morecambe, is their training ground is in Manchester. They don't have it anywhere near Morecambe. And the reason is and I was just looking at, I think it was a bit of a documentary or something anyway, but they got their training ground in Manchester because had they got it in Morecambe, they wouldn't be able to necessarily attract the players because of the travelling distance, because it is in right out in the edge of
Tyson Fury's a big fan, isn't he, then?
Who,
Tyson
sorry?
Fury. Fury's helped him out a bit, isn't he?
But they actually have their training ground in
his garden.
Manchester. In Derby, another shout out here to this is Welling Dartford yesterday, and they had a crowd of over 1,700. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic support. Yeah, a bit of a derby. Yeah, I think it's about 3 stops on the train, but that was the scenes at Welling Dartford, and then into League One. You got to mention this. What a crowd they had yesterday. I know Sunderland were bashing them out last year as well. 33,000 for that top of the table clash at Sheffield Wednesday. I think it was something like 3,500, 4,000 Plymouth, which you can see at the bottom end at Leppings Lane in there. But look at that crowd for a League One. What does that tell you about our football in this country? It ain't all about the Premier League, is it? You know, and then just one shout out.
That's a fair old slap for Plymouth fans and all that.
Oh, mate, they got fantastic support, Plymouth, though. They really have. And then another shout out, I've got to say, I've got no photos for it, but shout out to Bradford City, League 2, 18,000 against Mansfield. Fantastic support. And that does tell you a lot, doesn't it? It ain't all about the Premier League. And I wish some of these mainstream media, all they talk about, everything, it's all Premier League, and they shouldn't. Because
they're even talking about Southend who are in dire straits a minute, are they? Not played any wages for a couple of months. I ain't even paid the St John's ambulance people. It's voluntary, but they meant to give them a fee. They've even knocked them. We're on Martin, the property developer who owns them.
Yeah, well, we had a Southend person on the show, didn't we, last year? And
he dropped the. He said, "Can I say anything?" He went, "Yeah," and he dropped a C bomb on it. He went, "Ron Martin is a C."
It was. Oh dear, oh me. Another thing I want to get your opinion on, chaps, is Jurgen Klopp. Now, I'm going to bring it up because I need to basically tell you what he said. But mate, the man just constantly keeps coming out with so many excuses. I admired him when he first came over at Liverpool, and I thought he was doing a great job. I've actually got really tired of the fella. He's like a whingy, whiny little pussy, isn't he?
He blamed seagulls the other week, didn't he?
Sorry?
He blamed seagulls the other week.
Oh, mate, the guy's a freaking moron. He really, sorry, Liverpool supporters, but surely to God, he's embarrassing your club a little bit now, isn't he? I mean, look, this is with the latest one. The third goal, I don't count because it was the first time they passed the halfway line. So because that was the first time they made an attack on goal and they got it, he don't count it, right? I mean, this guy for real. The other two goals going into the game with all the things we said during the week and before the game, then this is the horrible. Mate, I mean, come on, he don't, like you say, seagulls. Mate, every week there's something from the fella. Does he do it for attention or is he a moron? What do you think, Mike?
I think he was on about the seagulls on the badge of the Brighton shirts when they were walloping. Yeah, listen, I'm like you, mate. I like his enthusiasm, and I like managers to celebrate when the team scores and stuff like that. But he's coming out, he's whinging a little bit now, and it's been a hard season for him to accept because they've been well below par. They don't seem to be they're coming out of it at the moment. So it's probably really getting to him now more than anything. Because up until now he was got up in Liverpool, weren't he? And now there's a few little breaks in the pattern.
I've listened to as a European expert, and he said Klopp he did some of these comments when he was out in Germany when teams weren't going so well. So it's just that we haven't heard him yet because Liverpool were smashing it, didn't they, the last 3 seasons? And he says now you're starting to see what he's like, and I think he is losing it. I don't think it's going to end very. I think they'll probably end up leaving. But they're up for sale, the club, aren't they? So maybe they ain't giving him the funds he needs. But
I think he's got a lot. I think he's got a lot of players that have been there too long. And I think he now needs to start changing the personnel down there and getting fresh faces in and stuff like that.
That's what separates him and Ferguson's, like Alex Ferguson being a top manager, because he rebirthed teams, didn't he?
Yeah,
he'll see that, he'll change him around, really be brutal getting rid of some players, but then he'll reinvent another team. And I think that's the difference with Klopp. He's like you say, he hasn't replaced where he needs to do, is he?
Well, you go back to the Carney. As soon as he went, that's when all the trouble started, wasn't it? And we were saying back then that he was a vital Marnie. We were saying he was a vital cog in their machine, really. And I don't think they've ever replaced him.
No.
So it definitely finished Tottenham 1, Man City 0. Man City failing to capitalise on the Everton Arsenal result. And what a big result for Forest today as well. They've certainly seemed to turn the corner, a 1-0 win over Leeds United. So that was today's results. And just having a little scout through. That was a good result for you. Now, I think Southampton have done it, ain't they? They're in a bad way, Southampton, aren't they? Yeah. I think, especially now Everton look like they're picking up the pieces a bit. Wolves getting that 3-0 win against Liverpool, another outstanding result there as well. Just having a little flick through. Burnley again getting a great result away, 3-0 away at Norwich. They definitely are flying. They are, aren't they? Luton Town, don't like talking about Luton Town, but hey ho, you got to, haven't you? Under that new manager that was at Watford that didn't really do very well, and now he goes to Luton and they're absolutely flying with him, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, like Watford's 2-2 again yesterday. I mean, like Stuart Higgins says, Cally, question, pal, I'm a Watford supporter. Where do you think we'll finish up? I'm stating 10th. Well, I spoke to you about this, Gaz, and from Watford on 45 points. Down to Sunderland on 42, 3 points separating them. Nearly all the teams below Watford have got 1 or 2 games in hand on them. And like I said to you before, somebody sent me this. How many points do you think Watford will get from the next 4 games, which is Blackburn at home, Burnley away, West Brom at home, and Sheffield United away? So, if they don't get results against them teams, they could end up in the bottom half of the league.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I think it's not good times at Watford at the moment.
No. Just picking out Middlesbrough winning 3-0. They're doing well as well. And obviously
Carragher, ex-player.
Yeah.
He's gone and turned that place around.
Sometimes. Derby getting a 5-0 win that day. I know we've already shown a picture of the Morecambe fans. Big up them. But what a shame. 5-0. Good result for Derby, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, they're flying at the moment, Derby. They keep the momentum going. I can see them going straight up.
Yeah.
And it's a long time since they've had a 5-0 win as well. So that'll do the confidence a bit good.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, we've already shown the crowd that was at Sheffield, obviously winning 1-0 against Plymouth in that top of the table. Great advert for that league. When you look at the clubs in it and some of the attendance is phenomenal. Absolutely on the money. Just having a little squint through. Outstanding, any real outstanding. Leyton Orient picking up another 1-0 win. Again, they're doing really, really well, aren't they? Leyton Orient.
Yeah.
They really are.
Back on form now.
Yeah, and the battle in the National League, Notts County getting an away win, and so did Wrexham. Wrexham cut the games in hand, so that's going to be quite a tight finish there, isn't it? I guess they've still got to play each other as well, which may even decide who gets that automatic slot. I don't know. Do we want Hollywood Wrexham to get it?
Hollywood.
Yeah. Little shout to Scunthorpe, girl. They played Friday night, but I think we spent last week. They've been saved, isn't it, though? They've been saved as a club.
They have. Great
Played
news.
the tax bill. Brilliant news, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely great news. You know, on the verge of going, and it's like what we said. And Del, you know, we talk about this a lot, mate. And you know, clubs like Scunthorpe, and this is where we maybe look at the hierarchy in football, and I don't, and a lot of the pundits as well. They don't. I don't think a lot of them truly understand the passion that a football supporter's got for their club. And yet, all right, I know sometimes that might lead to over exuberance, so that ain't the right word I said there, did it? Anyway, I'm trying to use big words and now it's backfired.
Bonnie's going to check the spelling on that
one. But exuberant, anyway, you know what I mean?
Just get a dictionary corner for that.
Jumping on and doing the caterpillar over the pitch like that Leeds fan did last week in the cup, you know. But I don't think they truly do. And I think I was thinking about this the other day, and I listen to TalkSport quite regularly, and I do get wound up by them now. They're getting worse, and they truly don't. That Jim White, mate, what sort of bloke is he? Does me nuts in, mate. You know, they really brush football fans aside, and it's only a game of football, almost that type of that, and it ain't. You know, people go to church and they're fanatical. So someone who's religious and goes to church every Sunday, it ain't no different. There are people out there that it means as much to them as anybody's religion. It is Newcastle, it is their religion. That is their church in the middle of the city centre, you know, and I just genuinely don't think they get it. And it is so upsetting when you see clubs like, when you consider the amount of money, and we'll come on to the crazy money that's been spent again in this window. When you think about the amount of money that is generated by the elite football clubs in this country alone, and yet there's no consideration to the little clubs and what they mean, not to anybody else, not to the owners, but to that community. That community, if Scunthorpe had gone, that would have been a heart-wrenching situation for that whole town, losing their club, because it is the heart of the community. You know, I know it's eroding more and more because of the way modern football's taking it, but, you know, I do get up.
The economy in that town and all would be affected by it. The economy football brings in,
Yeah, well, look, I mean, that's what we talk about, Mike. You know, Mike, I'm just looking Mike Owl near Dell, you know, and that's our view on it. You know, I don't know what your view is about modern day football, and maybe, you know, the amount of money that is at the top end of it. And
I mean, you think about it, if they didn't pay a footballer 1 week's wages, they didn't pay any Premiership footballer 1 week's wages.
Go and say now,
right? They could save a club in the lower division, couldn't they? 1 week's wages.
Mate, if they didn't play,
you know,
if for 1 week, all the money that they would pay a football player in the Premier League, if every player in Premier League gave up 1 week's money,
wages, they could save the club.
Wages, you'd probably clear the national debt.
Do you know what
You'd
someone said
build a
that
fucking hospital, and I'm swearing.
Yeah.
Someone nailed it for me in a comment the other day. He said, you get club supporters doing food banks at their teams, and they're all turning up with food. They do a little special thing. They get it for local homeless people, and then they'll go and watch a player on a pitch who's on 250 grand a week.
Yeah. I can't do it anymore. That's why I don't go.
Yeah.
I cannot do it anymore. I can't watch these people. It's exactly, they do it at Watford, mate. You've got Roy Moore. He runs a lot of the fan base things, and they do things like that, food banks, and they do a thing at Christmas where fans bring toys and that for underprivileged children. And you're right, they'll come out of that, do all that hard work, everyone, who's struggling to pay their own bills, and then they'll go in a football ground and watch these muppets kick the ball around, not very well in that respect, really, for the most ridiculous money. I do get very upset about it, though. I really do. It's like, it's the one time I think that I'm actually communist. Power to the people, because I really do think the distribution of money.
But Gal, are you going to talk about the transfer window? How much? 850 million.
Yeah. Well, that's a good. Yes, let's do it, and then we'll get on to some funnies. 2.75
billion over the 2 windows, which is. And none of that goes to, I know there's some money that gets put down to grassroots, but that 2.75 billion over the 2 windows, which is outrageous, sickening amount of money, just 1% of that, a levy or a tax should go down to the grassroots. And I'm not talking non-league, I'm talking proper grassroots, kids football.
Yeah.
Because all the pitch fees are going up. We've put an article up on our website you can check out, but there's...
Yeah, please check that out. Is this the one that... what have you entitled it again, mate?
Grassroots, the forgotten heart and soul of...
Yeah, that's it. Please check it out, people. It's a fantastic piece. It really is.
Even like the subs, the mums and dads have to pay for the kids' teams. It's like they can't afford it. But then there's other kids who can't even join a team on council estates or in rough areas. It's totally been lost. So something's happening. You think the agents' fees and the money that goes out of football,
just the agents' fees,
and the foreign teams who are buying some players that all right, that's just how it is. But that money goes out of the country, out of the football, and especially agents' fees. There's got to be some levy that comes in. I know there's a lot of rigmarole with the FA, the Premier League. There's all different permutations where they can't do it, but something's got to be done.
Because I can't. I struggle with football now on that basis. That even down in League One, there are players on 20 grand a week. We know 4-6 grand in National League, non-league football.
But there's also
if one Premiership player, he'd be a hero. Like Marcus Rashford did all that stuff for charity and everything.
Yeah.
One Premiership player just said, "This month I'm going to give up my wages, 4 weeks' money, and paid it to a lower division club." He'd be an hero. Yeah. And he just shortchanged to them.
Start the ball rolling, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Non-league club, if they had a couple $100 grand handed to them, that would probably keep them afloat for a season, if not longer.
Yeah.
But the thing, you've got to have football clubs have got non-league clubs. Some of them who go in trouble, they've got to be run properly. So there is the argument that you shouldn't just bail them out. They've been run badly. Some blokes come in.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, you shouldn't. Yeah, there should be due diligence done without a doubt.
But these old clubs should be protected like a state, like a building, like a
listed building.
Listed building, yeah. They're part of history, aren't they?
I'll tell you what, the agents have got a lot to do with these high flying wages and stuff, and not just at Premier League level. I'm talking. I mean, there's teams that 3 leagues below the Football League that the players have got agents for. And when their agents go in and see the manager, they're always pushing for as much money as they can get. I mean, the agent for Haaland before he came to City, and he's done what he has done so far. He was saying that he's probably going to be the first £1 million a week player. So that's where they're all heading towards. It's never going to be enough. When you've got agents looking after players that aren't even good enough to get in the top 4 leagues, League 2, League 1, Championship, Premier, they're the 4 main divisions. Right? And you've got agents at clubs that are 3 leagues below that going in and negotiating wages for players and girls. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, do you know? You say I was talking to Greg when I was down at Braintree. I did that vlog thing, vblog, or whatever you call them, down at Braintree. And I was talking to Greg Lake, friend of yours, Nigel, who's been on the show a few times, who's part owner at Braintree Town, Billericay Town, Braintree, Billericay Town. And he was saying that some of their girls, the lady players, they've got agents.
Yep. They've all got
Billericay Town. They're playing.
Yeah.
Look.
Do you know what? On Facebook, there's a guy actually advertising how to teach you how to become an agent. You can go on his course and he'll teach you how to become a football agent. That's where the money is at the moment. You know, it's.
Can you send us that link, Nigel?
Yeah.
I was just thinking the same.
You know, look, none of us, if we were offered that stupid money to kick a bit of leather around a football pitch, we'd all do it. Of course we would. It doesn't mean to say that because we don't get that money, you know, we got the right, you know, to disagree with it, because I can't get my head around anyone that agrees with how the money in football is going. And
do you think it's going to go pop at some point? Like, where young kids can't playing football, there's a lot of kids missing out. So they feed, they go the way through. I know the big clubs pick them all up, the youngsters, but there's no kids football. And Pidge just said it there, the Watford podcast about Sunday League football. And I didn't realise, we shared a post about Hackney Masters the other day, looking back at the old days, 66 games, thousands of people playing. And but there's no pubs in it, all the pubs are shutting down. All your Sunday teams are going, aren't they? Some leagues in Hertfordshire, Suffolk, Norfolk, they ain't got any Sunday leagues anymore. It used to be like 12 divisions.
Yeah.
So that's another topic. But pubs shutting down. But I think football will go pop at some point, because there's no. You need a conveyor belt of young kids coming through. I don't know. I hope it does go pop. I really hope.
Yeah, I do. I really hope. Football's got to do something sooner or later, because you know, it is ludicrous. And I'm not being funny. And in some ways, football supporters, and I can say I'm not, because I won't go anymore because of it. And people might slate me for that. I'll carry on, but for me, you know, when the football support starts whinging and whining about, they put this bill up, this company's made 300 grand more profit this year or whatever, and it's on the back of us, yet they'll go and watch and put their money into these ludicrously well-paid players and club. You know, it's not the clubs. The clubs are not making that much money. A lot of them are losing money. That's what people need to understand. Chelsea and that, they regularly post losses. The only people making money out of this are the agents and the players, and everyone else. Anyway, look, I'll go on all day about it, you know. So let's just catch up with people in the chat room. Mike Al said, next time you're down in Eastbourne, mate, let me know. Was at Witton Albion. This is Ben. Was at Witton Albion yesterday with Kidsgrove. Great little ground, great little setup. They even had their own museum. Fantastic, which is absolutely brilliant. Top setup, top club. Well done, Witton Albion. You know, let's just see what ticket prices. What is ticket prices for League 1 and 2? Good point. I would say around £20, £25 from what I've experienced. I think I paid 20 quid in Bristol Rovers when I went there. Somewhere around there. Maybe if someone could help elaborate on that. I think 20 to £25. I know National League and National League North. You're looking
15 quid I paid yesterday.
15 quid about the norm. I guess if you go to Hollywood Wrexham, it would be more. But then if you go a bit further down the structure, you're looking about 9 quid. Tadcastle, Carlton Town were playing there yesterday. By the way, Boats is on with us next week. Talk about his new book as well as what's going on with Carlton Town. One of the clubs that we follow. And they were at Tadcastle yesterday, and it was £9 to get in, and I know it's £9 to get in at Carlton Town as well. Let's have a look. Ben Cliff, Have any of you guys heard Nathan Jones' interviews after the loss yesterday? Guy's an absolute embarrassment. Well, mate, I know this guy's an embarrassment.
He loves a moan up, doesn't he?
Oh, mate. We were going on about Jurgen Klopp, mate. He beats a lot of that bleeding Nathan Jones, doesn't he? Worst manager I've ever seen at Stoke. Saints will get relegated with him, mate.
The thing is, Gaz, I mean, he went to Stoke from Luton and he couldn't do it at Stoke. So who's the genius at Southampton that thought he could go to Southampton and pull them out of the shit? I mean, come on.
I believe it was Tony's mate because he's got a few quid on Southampton getting relegated. Anyway, sorry, Del. Mate, I'm racing along here because even though we started late, I've still got to get in the good old days. I won't tell a story. Dan won't do one, but we'll get a little one off Nigel and we'll get a little one off Del, but we'll do that in a minute. Jeff Thompson, Scunthorpe, proper football town and decent fans. Exactly what we're saying. It is part of the community. And I just wish some of these top pundits stop just blasé football fans and don't realise the passion football fans have got.
You know, even Grimsby fans were coming out and supporting them. They're their big rivals, aren't they? And they was even saying, look, we hate you, but we don't want to lose you. So we're all the same, aren't we, at the end of the day? Yeah,
Stuart Higgins, money spent by success, hate Premier League. He has the most money. Who has the most money finishes higher? Love it, guys, from Pidge. Roy Moore is a legend. Absolutely is. I agree. 106 million. Yeah, you know what? We're talking about that. We'll get through the rest of the comments and we'll quickly touch on that Fernandes fee of £106 million. Just goes to really confirm what we've been saying. Chelsea have built for a long term. And that's only the case if they. Okay, I'm not sure what you're saying there, Pitch. Sorry. Premier League wages is out of control. Wake up, folks. It's not just, yes, they are. And unfortunately, it rolls down. You know, if you think you've got players £4,000 to £5,000 a week in non-league football, is that not just as mad as the Premier League? It obviously works its way down. And that is because at the top league, this is the sort of money players are earning, and it is rolling downhill. And the smaller clubs are really struggling to compete with wages if another club's got a big owner. Jeff Thompson, one Premiership player donated this month's wages to us. If they did, we would build him a statue. Ben Cliff, 3,500. Cool, we've had lots of people getting involved. Dan, I don't want to leave them out, guys. So sorry if we spend a bit of time on it. £3,500. I'm going quick as I can. £3,500 a week for a lad for Macclesfield. I think we touched on that. This is tier 8, £3,500 a week in tier 8 because Macclesfield got a few bob. Danny's spot on about the grassroots football. Also, Sunday League in Hertfordshire, especially in Hemel, is almost non-existent, and that is such a shame. Sunday League football was an institution.
All that throwing up on the pitch and having a fag at half time, it's all going.
and the magic sponge. I broke my leg. Don't worry about that. Magic sponge.
I think
the sale of oranges has gone right down.
All greengrocers are out of business.
Pidge, who runs the Watford podcast page, he's just put on. I'm guessing he's talking about my opinion, and I'm not going to football at the minute because I really detest the money side of things. And he has put in there, mate, that's your opinion and your choice, and I totally see your side. And you're not alone. I do understand some fans will disagree that I don't go to football. All right, I did go to the local derby against Luton, but I would be a hypocrite. I constantly come on this show slating modern day football, slating the money these players are earning, and saying it's got to go like Dan has just said. I would be, and I'm being honest, guys. I would be a total hypocrite if I then started going every week, wouldn't I? It hurts me not to be going to football. It really does. It fucking hurts.
Gail, you went to a game though, but you just touched it earlier. It's still a religion. It's what puts through your blood, isn't it?
So in my blood, and it hurts not going. It's like it's like the Pope not going to church, mate. I mean, God, can you imagine? Right? Could frighten you guys with situations in Republic? Man cities of this world are watching kids. Okay, this is Republic Ireland.
Republic of Ireland, yeah.
Watching kids as young as 9 in Shamrock Rovers. Oh yeah, Shamrock Rovers Academy. Wow, we are just getting inundated, which is great. Lots of involvement, folks. As young as 9, they're watching them, approaching parents with briefcases full of cash to sign them for them clubs. Around £16 to get in at National League. Yeah, like I was saying, yeah, because Jeff Sadalo supporter, they're in National League North. Kettering Town up the road from me, 15 quid. So we're a pound cheaper than you, Jeff. Eh? Should never stop the apprentice thing where they cleaned the dressing rooms, boots, etc. Yeah. Did you have to do that, Nigel?
Yeah, the whole lot, mate.
Clean
Scrub
the
the floors, clean the shit houses out, clean the boots.
Teaches you respect as well, doesn't it?
I was just about to say that, Del. Yeah.
Does, it? And the value of money and definitely.
Yeah, it was that's what entered my head. The level of respect you get taught, don't you? To now these young lads, mate, they're bowling around in Lamborghinis at 17 and 18.
They're millionaires before they've even got in the first team. Some of them.
Dear. Right. Okay.
Nearly as bad as train drivers.
Last one.
There was a story about that Anthony Gordon. He's got $100,000 Mercedes truck or van or whatever it is. He's just had a driving ban, and somebody pictured him driving his van 2 days afterwards, or his car. And they're saying he could go, if it's proven, he could go to jail for 6 months because he's already had one ban already.
Bloody hell.
That's what I mean.
Look. I've nicknamed it.
I think they're indestructible. Yeah, I think they're untouchable.
You know,
they'll get the best lawyers to get them off, won't they?
Of course they will.
I don't know what happened with Mason Greenwood. We probably shouldn't touch on that, but probably not best to touch on that ex-visit.
Gordon, also known as Claire Balding.
Claire Balding.
Right, then one there. Got a cut eye on my eyebrow playing Sunday League football. Looked like a mini axe wound. Came off half time. I like the way he said
where I played football, it probably was an axe wound.
Yeah. Oh mate, came off at half time. Only thing in the first aid bag was deep eat, some scissors and a stapler. So Gaffer put 6 staples in my head, closed it up, won the game 4-1. And they're still coming in, but I'm going to stop it there. Claire Balding should be jailed for the hair. Right, okay. I've got to move on, guys. We are running over 7 o'clock. We did start late. We will run over 7 o'clock until we're happy that we've got everything done. I'm going to move on to, remember, get your stories lined up, you two, all right? But we'll start off with a little bit of this. Right, that always makes me laugh.
Are you still refereeing, girl?
That really makes me laugh. That does, man. Okay, I have got a couple of funnies for you. So let's start with this one. Obviously, Wrexham playing in the FA Cup. And what's his name? The old Hollywood actor?
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, here we go. Look at the poster. Let's oh dear, I mean, they got him before we did anyway. So yeah, I don't know whether he realised what he was stood in front of when that was taken. Right, now we know about a bit of play acting in football. Well, have a cop of this.
you know.
Right, okay, we probably didn't. It cut off a little bit at the bottom, but people watching would have seen the whole thing. It didn't touch him.
Should win an Oscar for that.
Oh, mate.
Should be banned for that.
Should be banged up.
One more. One more, and then you two better be ready. Right, this is a classic missed goal. Let's have a
Nou, dit wordt dan een 1-0 voor Bikwik. Oh, wat een kans voor Nages. Daar zal hij vannacht zelf ook nog wel van wakker liggen.
I think he dropped the C.
Hang on. I was going to say. Now,
Sounds like German porn.
That's funny, right? That's funny. Right? Listen, guys, everyone watching and listening, I'm going to play that again, and I want you to listen to the commentator. Does he say the C-bomb or what? Have another listen, folks.
Ja.
Nou, dit wordt dan een 1-0 voor Bikwik. Oh, wat een kans voor Nages. Daar zal hij vannacht zelf...
I can't translate that, right? But
That's
to
Dutch
me
for,
was
that's Dutch for the C-bomb. What a miss, though. What a great bit of wing play. What a miss. Jesus.
Oh, dear, I mean. And I wish we're going to try and do this for next week because for some reason it ain't uploading, Dan. This is the thing with the Liverpool-Chelsea support. Absolute brilliant bit of comedy. But we'll have that ready for next week, folks. So make sure you're with us next week. Okay, so, gentlemen, if you're ready, we're going to have some of this.
It's all over. It is now. It's 4. And Charlton.
Right, okay. I'm going to give you a choice. Or do I go it, dick, dog? Which one? Go on, who wants to go first?
I'll just elaborate a little bit on what Pidge said about going back to the way we've been apprentices and you learn to respect the players above you and all that lot. But back in the days, I heard stories about the big clubs like Man U and Liverpool coming down with, i.e., a new car for the parents so they could bring them up to Manchester and stuff like that. I was getting all them stories. Obviously, that weren't going to happen at Watford. It was the big clubs that were flaunting it about. But when I went over to South Africa to play football over there, bearing in mind football was like more or less a black sport over there, and it was quite poor. We was predominantly one of the only white sides over there, Hellenic, and the chairman was Greek. But we had apprentices there coming up through the ranks and stuff, but they were never being trained to play in the first team. They were being trained to be shipped abroad to countries like Belgium and Holland, and making a club a bit of money out of that. So it was really weird the way things happened over in South Africa. And, we played a team called Kwakwa Stars. And we flew 2.5 hours to Johannesburg. We stayed overnight in a hotel, and then we had a 3-hour journey in a coach to get to this shanty town that people were living in sheds and cardboard boxes. And there's this dirty, great big football stadium in the middle of it, which could have paid for all the houses. And we won the first leg 4-0. And we was playing the team the week after back at our place. And their journey consisted of 18 players in a 14-seater minibus, all the kit, an 18-hour drive with probably one stop. All right. They played the match. They had a drink after the match, got in the van, and they had another 18-hour journey back home. I mean, that just shows you how money does affect football. Like we sort of done it right. We had a luxurious way over there, and it was hardship for their teams, but. It's the same thing now with all the agents. Yeah, they are. Listen, every Sunday league match that's going on with the kids, there'll be agents out there watching games. There'll be spotting players. They'll ask who the parents are. They'll go up to the parents. And like you say, 9 years old, they'll be having their eyes on these players, trying to get them signed up. Yeah, I'll get them a trial for Chelsea. I'll get them a trial for Man United. And that's how it works these days. The agents have got into the game and they're never going to get out of it. That's the way football is now. But they're into the game big style now. And like I said, that post that was on Facebook about you can take a course on becoming a football agent. I mean, that's just ridiculous. So, that's my little story. I mean, I ain't got any funny ones at the moment.
No, it's all about the good old days, and whether that means it's a story about how everything was going on or funny. So
I'll tell you what happened though. The first game we played, because I really suffered with the heat, and it was about 80 over there when we played our first game, and we're playing Pretoria. And the lads were going, Cally, you won't be able to breathe up there. It's above sea level. Like the air's really thin. And I was thinking, oh shit! Like so, we're getting ready for the match. 10 minutes before the game, I'm Gina lads. I'm come on lads, come on, let's And they're all having a swig out of this bottle, this red stuff they were drinking. And I'm going, what's that then? They went, oh, it's like energy drink. I said, give us a swig then. I'll tell you something now. That stuff weren't legal because I was still running about after the game was finished. I don't know what it was, but yeah.
You want some more of it?
Running after the game was finished. Oh my word! Oh dear, mate, that must have been a proper experience. When there's something, I know we are going to get round to doing a proper interview with you, Nigel, and we can talk about. That must have been not only the football, but like you say, seeing.
Well, I'll tell you something. What made it even weirder was that actual year that I was over there was the inauguration of Nelson Mandela. So they were having all these rallies at the stadiums the night before we was playing, and that was the year he got inaugurated. We had a lot of games in Johannesburg cancelled because the polling stations were getting vandalised because some of the whites didn't want the blacks voting, and it was mad over there. But it was a great experience. It's a beautiful country, but it was weird. I mean, I played for Hellenic, but I actually coached rivals youth team at Spurs, Cape Town Spurs, and you're seeing our young lads now, they've got the best boots, they've got the best tracksuits and everything. I'm watching young lads turn up for training with the boots over the shoulders, walking in bare feet to training because they don't want to wear out the tread. And that's the difference. And these kids are really good footballers. But
be interested to know what the World Cup in South Africa did. Did it make any difference there? Did they grow from that? I doubt. I very much doubt.
I don't know. Yeah. Things have changed a lot in South Africa, but I think there's still a long way to go over there.
Yeah,
but they still got them bastard vuvuzelas. Yeah.
Oh dear. Thanks, Nigel, mate. Yeah. Right, Dale, come on, give us something. What you got?
Well, mine ain't nowhere near as good as that. Trust me.
Make something up, Dale.
I'll make something up, shall I? Now, basically, one of my mates is I won't say his name, but anyway, he's an avid QPR supporter back in the day. Back in the early 80s when other things used to be going on, if you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, his sister is about 16, 17 years older than us. Well, she's a vicar. And she's an avid Brentford supporter. And so is all her side of the family, right? And she said to me once, she always rings me now and again. If they got a spare ticket, she'll ring me. And I never give it a second thought. But she rang me and she said, Brentford playing Arsenal at Arsenal. This was a few years ago. So I said, right. She said, do you want to come? I went, all right. Never give it a second thought. Didn't realise she was going to turn up in a dog collar, first thing. So I'm at the Brentford end, Arsenal, me and her, 4 rows from the front, and all the Brentford behind us. Well, of course, they're all swearing at the ref, you mug, and everything to the ref. Every time someone swore, she stood up and told them off, right? It doesn't sound that funny. But as the game's going on, I'm sinking lower and lower into my seat. But she's going, it's hard to explain unless you were there. She's shouting at all these people, and then she's arguing with them, and then they're saying, well, she's saying Jesus never swore, and they're going, how do you know he didn't? Right? They're going, how do you know he didn't? Like, how do you know he didn't go, Judas? Or you mug? You grasped me up. How do you know?
Being very polite with them.
Yeah, I am, mate. Yeah,
mug.
I am.
I'm sure it wasn't mug.
No, it weren't. That's all I've got, fellas.
Cool, mate. No, that's fine. Going with a vicar who's going to have a go at everyone swearing. Oh, my word.
I wouldn't mind, but the special drop had been the week before, and that's an Adidas collection. And I had a full special tracksuit on, so people knew I knew what I was doing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But then I'm with this vicar, which is lovely, but it was comical. If I wasn't that person and I was watching, it'd have been proper funny, if you know what I mean.
Right, we are getting towards the end now. I think I'm going to do a round of the table. However,
Well,
let me just catch up on any.
I've got to do the football card, mate.
Oh, Christ, yeah. Well, let me just catch up on them. You get ready for that. Coventry City boys making all the noise. Liam Easton, that is. Hello, mate. Thanks for joining in there. Ben Cliff got another one here. I had one season at a Swedish League 2 team. Dan's missus from Sweden. You know all about Sweden, mate, don't you?
Yeah.
And our most local rivals were 2 hours away. The team I played for was a small town, no internet, and the way the club was run was the same as Cally mentioned. Ben, I keep saying this. I want to get you on the show, mate. That would be a fantastic discussion as well. But saying similar to what you've just said, they were bringing players up to ship abroad. So surreal. So they weren't, I guess, a bit like a cattle market, isn't it? It's like a meat factory, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, folks. So as you know, Dan has been avidly working hard for some time now on raising money for a defibrillator that we would like to donate to a sporting organisation that of a deserved sporting organisation that needs a few bob and can't afford one. Defibrillators have saved a lot of lives in football, particularly. But anyway, he's completed another card. Okay. Half the money goes to the charity that we're doing, which you can see on our website and all about it on our website at www.properfootball.co.uk. You know what? I'm going to pop that up. And so Dan's been working hard. And Dan, to date, how much have we raised?
About just shy of 300 quid at the minute. So I've bought one of these teams for a fiver, and if I win it, I'll just stick it. It'll look well moody if I win it, but I'll stick it straight. I'll stick it straight back in the fund. So,
and do we still have the offer off of the London defibrillator people that
London Hearts? Yeah,
London
they
Hearts,
said
they will give us.
We raised 715. They'll give us £300 grant, which is just 300 quid, and they'll supply us with a defibrillator, a proper one that you can take out to the dugouts and everything. So it'd be for a non-league side or even more grassroots you want, boys clubs, girls clubs.
So people like you, I think we've got a GoFundMe running as well on this. So as Dan has just described, that London Hearts will give us a donation of £300 if we can hit the £750 mark.
Right,
and they'll supply us with a one, but he's scratching away now. Let him crack on. You go for it, mate.
Here we go. All right.
Get that torch on it, mate. It's a bit dark.
No, my hand's in the way of the torch. Right, the winning team is Everton. Bloody hell, they're on a winning streak, aren't they?
They're on a winning streak.
Right, and the winner is Mr. Sean Deitch from Burnley. No. Right, let's see if I can find.
Can't really see it, mate. Hold it up.
Let's see if I can find Everton on here.
It'd be down the bottom, mate.
Great shout.
They're on here somewhere.
Love it is.
Yeah. Everton, Peter Riddy. Can you see that?
Yeah. Okay, Peter Riddy. You're watching. If not, Dan will get in touch with you.
I'll put it on our Facebook because he put it from there. So well done, Peter. Well done, Everton.
Cool, Everton, you're on a winning streak. But please, everyone, bear that in mind. We want to raise the 750. London Hearts will give us a further £300 and provide us with a top of the range sports defibrillator that we will find when we've got that all sorted. We will be then looking for a deserved sporting facility that, you know, if they got lots of money, then they ain't getting it. They can buy their own. But if they're a sporting facility,
everyone who applies, we'll stick them.
We lost him at the perfect moment then, didn't we, eh? Look, his internet, he's back. Hang on, he's in the green room now. I'm going to let him stew in there for a minute, folks. I can see him. Oh, I'm getting the fingers.
Oh, don't know what happened. I think I pulled my cord out. But no, when we put it out there, we've raised the money. We'll put it out there to anyone who wants to apply, and more than merry, and then we'll pick one out of a hat. And obviously, we'll check them out and see if they're all kosher first, and do it that way. But
no, fantastic. So I'm going to go around the room. Before I do, just to let you know, next week we've got Gary Clark, aka Boatsy, on. New book coming out the following week. They've got their launch, Angels with Dirty Faces, and also lots going on at Carlton Town. And it'd be nice just to catch up a little bit. Carlton Town's one of the non-league clubs that we've put some effort and following into, and be lovely to catch up. They've had a very successful week in beating Mansfield in the semi-final of the Notts Cup, which was good at Mansfield as well. They had a great night out there, and they picked up a really good result at Tadcastle, 2-0, I think it was yesterday. He'll tell us a lot more, being the marketing director at Carlton Town, and a little bit about his book, as well as lots of football chitty chatter, and of course, he's an ardent Nottingham Forest fan and knows a lot what's going on at that club. So that'll be interesting for next week. The following week, Nigel, I'm going to let you.
Yeah, the following week, one of my ex-teammates, Tony Coton, the Legends keeper, he's going to be on with us. That's confirmed. And I've also got Steve Sherwood confirmed for the 5th of March.
Brilliant.
So that's two good ones to look forward to.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll have Mark Slive returning to the show. He came on one of our very first shows, I think, one of them. Ex-St Mirren, Motherwell and Elgin. And we're going to have a little bit of a Scottish theme that day and have a look at the Scottish football as well. Right. Okay, let's go round the table. Last bits or anything else you'd like to bring up, Nigel?
Yeah, just to let you know, I'll be on Mixcloud at 9 o'clock, playing some music if you want to join me, which most of my lot are on here anyway, so there you go.
Yeah.
But have a good week, and let's see what happens with the football this week.
Yeah. The link's up there for Nigel's Mixcloud. Daniel, over to you.
Yeah, a couple of quick things. Ben's just said that Kidsgrove have got League Town of the Week, which is known as El Staffico. Yeah. They're a big rival, so good luck to you, Ben. Also, just say it's lovely to meet you, Del. You can catch Del's interview on our website, www.properfootball.co.uk. And I want to, there's a few things I want to ask Del about his collection. He's enthusiast. Sorry, he's an enthusiast.
Yeah, no, please.
But how many? If you look at the website, you'll see his picture. Is that your loft, Del, with all your trainers in it? That's amazing. Yeah. How many pairs have you got?
To be fair, I haven't really counted. There must be over 300, but I mean, my missus has got quite a few as well. She's not as mental as me, but there's probably over 300, I suppose.
Wow. And you live in Scotland, that's right, isn't it?
Yeah, I live in Scotland, a little island. I ain't telling you where I live.
Isle of Bute. I used to know a girl in Isle of Bute.
No, I'm joking. I just don't tell anyone where I live. Don't want to get me drum spun while I'm out.
Del, I know. Just to add to Dan's question, then, with the whole fascination. I mean, look, a lot of football lads and all that. Obviously, fascination with the trainers and all that. Obviously, you've gone to another level with it. What sort of really was it? Just literally, it was you got a couple of pairs and it just went mental and you just kept going and going? Or?
To be honest with you, I've always been into clobber and trainers, really, to be fair. I don't drink. I used to smoke, but I give up smoking about 10 years ago. So I've always been into it. And then in about the 90s, obviously that's when I started the family. I've got 5 kids. So do you know what I mean? So that you can't afford to that, yeah, you can't afford to get, to get everything that you wanted back then, you know. But then obviously you start dibbling, drabbling in a little bits and pieces. And then about 2014, I had an operation. I nearly snuffed it on the way to work. I won't bore you with that. But I had an operation and I was off work about 4 months. And in that time, they were just bringing out a new trainer by Gary Aspen called the Adidas Special. And he brings out twice a year. He brings out about 10 items in the summer and about another 10 items in the winter, which is trainers and clothing. You've got a new drop this week, actually, on Friday. But basically, I started getting more back into it then. And because I didn't have to give up smoking because of the operation, I just chose to. So I thought, what I need to do to stop me from going back to smoking, I need to get back into my trainers. I probably had about 50 pair then, because you know, that is what it is. But then I started to get a bit more involved in it, because I thought, instead of smoking, I buy trainers. And after 6 months, you got half a dozen pair, and you think, I would have just wasted that money on fags, really. Do you know what I mean?
Like the new Gucci ones, Dill?
No,
the Gucci slip ones. They're about about 1,400 quid. Aren't they?
Yeah, no, it's not my cup of tea. I only like Adidas Original. I don't like. I've got a couple of pair of equipment, but I mean, I only like it with like with the trefoil badge. I only really like Adidas like that. If that makes sense.
Not this. I'm on the wrong side here. Got the wrong boob up.
Yeah,
yeah. No, this is bought for me. I prefer your one.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that's all what I go for, really. I'm more of a ZX. I prefer a ZX than anything special, really. Well, I say special, but the correct pronunciation is special. Do you know what I mean? But
I bet you give up smoking because you was damaging your trainers, putting your fags out, weren't you? But
yeah. Yeah, what I've done is I'll give up smoking. I bought a couple of nicotine patches, put them over both my eyes, so I couldn't find my fags.
I was on 40 a day of them patches.
Yeah, so I'll give up, and then the rest is history. But we did used to have it in a little room. Just
one last, just quickly then on that. Ben Clifford said, "My training collection is my pride and joy too." Dell,
nice.
Last word from you, really.
Now, looking forward to Boats' interview next week. I've never met the fella, but I've read his books, and obviously we follow one another on Instagram. But yeah, so looking forward to that. And to be honest with you, since I've got back into Adidas, I've met a lot of people. Yeah, and I'm quite lucky. I'll get invited to bits and pieces.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised who collects Adidas. There's a lot of people.
Oh, mate. I mean, it's made you a bit
Clobber.
It has sort of made you a bit of a celebrity, if we're honest, hasn't it? This collection.
Yeah, that's not what my old woman will call me, but yeah.
I know the Dutch word.
Yeah. My missus is half German, so I know what she normally does. I mean.
So from me, everybody, thank you for watching and supporting us. I didn't say at the beginning, and I ain't going to bother saying it. It's a bit late. Share. But if you are watching this at a later date, share it as well. The more the merrier, please. That's great. Please join us again next week when we've got Boatsy. The following week we've got Tony Coton. Then I think we might have that Mark Smythe on after that. Then we got after that, so that's then we got Steve Sherwood on. We are delving into a few other players that are quite interesting guys. West Ham players, actually, I'm looking at the moment. But we got lots and lots of exciting things going on. So please let everyone know about the show. Join us again next Sunday. And thank you all for watching. And a very safe week. And if you want to listen to some good music, catch Nigel on Mixcloud. Also, have a look at PF Radio. A lot of exciting things happening on the radio station. A lot of new DJs coming on. And lots of exciting things happening on PF Radio as well. Right, okay, that's it, folks. We wish you all goodbye. And we'll see you all again next week.
Yeah, good luck.
The Proper Football Live Show, Sundays at 6 p.m. for your football fix on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and PF Radio. Check out our website at properfootball.co.uk.